Sharon. How are you doing?
Julie, it's so lovely to be here with you. Thank you so much.
We're really quite excited, aren't we, for this?
Definitely. So delighted to get chatting to you.
And you, likewise. Thank you ever so much for joining me. So today's session, I'm with the lovely Sharon, and we'll find out what the lovely Sharon does in a little while as the interview proceeds. So you need to stay on so you can find out. But this is part of my Unstoppable series where I'm doing two different types of lives. One live is going to be when I'm doing interviews with my clients, and then how their life's changed working with me, and if they've got a business they can come on here too and share that with you all, and also with my lovely women in the prime of their lives, and especially ones like Sharon who are completely unstoppable, and she's absolutely living her life, living the prime of her life, aren't you? So you're having a well of a time with your business.
I am
So we've got
loving
a few people joining us. Sorry darling, what was you going to say?
I said I'm loving it. I didn't ever think that I would be starting a business at my time of life, but I'm loving it.
I know, it's amazing, isn't it? And I think what's important is, I mean, are you all right telling people your age? I don't mind telling people.
Absolutely. I'm blessed to be this age and healthy. Yeah.
So both of us are in our 50s, right? And we are both having the time of our lives, working on our own businesses. And yeah, we're basically unstoppable, girl, aren't we?
Mm-hmm.
And
yep.
Just for a bit of, how we know each other. So both Sharon and I met each other in our business coaching, because we both realised the importance of, if we wanted to work on our businesses, we need to make sure we've got help and support to do that. So that's how we met, and we've got a fantastic community. And, I just think that's what it's all about, that collaboration and working together. So thank you. We've got loads of people joining us at the moment. So thank you so much. So Sharon, should we get this party started, shall we?
Let's go for it. Yeah, let's go.
So basically, Sharon, I'm going to fire you a few questions, okay? And then I just want you to just speak from your heart and just let everyone know, what you think in response to those. So this particular session really is, women in the prime of their lives, and how the perimenopause or the menopause is impacting our lives and what we're doing about it, quite frankly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my first question to you, Sharon, as a woman in the prime of your life, what would you say has been your biggest challenge?
Oh my goodness, without a shadow of a doubt, it's starting my business. I've only started my business really, I suppose I've been doing what I'm doing for 8 years, and started my business about 4 years ago. I was doing it as a hobby before that. And for me, that has been the biggest thing. It's my learning curve, and it's a steep learning curve. It really, really is. So for me, that's my challenge.
So just tell everyone what you did before you started your business, Sharon.
Well, I was a midwife and health visitor for 31 years. So
Wow.
I was a midwife in a neonatal unit. And then for the last maybe 8 years, came out into the community to do health visiting. Absolutely loved it, Julie. But I had a passion and drive that I wanted to do more. And hence my business then was born.
Okay. So working with my clients, I've noticed that there's a lot of similarities, both from a physical perspective and from a psychological perspective. I mean, from a physical point of view, sometimes it can be like physical conditions like autoimmune diseases, arthritis, like struggling to walk, even skin conditions, those types of things. And then obviously the usual thing like your heightened anxiety, stress, lack of confidence, self-belief, procrastination, and I kind of put those all under the mindset banner. But obviously there's many other elements to it. But what would you say have been the biggest impact to you in terms of either physical or psychological or both?
I suppose for me, the first thing was hot flushes. And as soon as I had a couple, I thought, no, I'm not going there. I didn't like it. And I thought, no, in this day and age, I don't need to. So I went to my GP straight away, Julie. I have the most wonderful GP. She's a female, same age as myself. And she is so understanding, and she was excellent. Now, there would be quite a strong family history of breast cancer within, I suppose, the 40s in my family. So she put me on the right HRT, absolutely brilliant. So for me, as soon as something isn't working, I go and seek help without a shadow of a doubt.
Fantastic.
Absolutely. I knew it was impacting me, so I wasn't prepared to keep going and going and going. For me, I wanted it sorted straight away. So she was excellent. And then within my business, I suppose, it was just the confidence to actually, am I doing the right thing? Am I not? And I suppose that confidence issue would have happened no matter what age I was, but I think it was sort of exacerbated because, of course, I was in the perimenopause and along with everything that comes with it. And as lucky as I was, I suppose it's just my timing. I was starting my business at this age. So I thought, oh my goodness. And I do talk to people a lot about I suppose, the imposter syndrome that sits on your shoulder. Can you really do it? What are you thinking of? Everybody else, sure, look, they've been doing it for years. And it is real. It is absolutely real. So I had that to work through. And for me, again, as I said before, I needed help with that. So I thought, right, okay, who could I go to help me? So I went to a coach, and without a shadow of a doubt, I had to work on my mindset first of all, because unless my mind's right, nothing else is right. So I started into the whole personal development world, and it opened up a whole, oh my goodness me, a whole new world for me. And definitely now, I am still working on the imposter syndrome, and I am still working on my confidence. It's a daily thing, but I am absolutely knocking it out of the park and loving it.
Amazing. I love that. And what you said is not uncommon because, well, for a start, it happened to me too. My biggest thing was lack of confidence, not wanting to be seen, that fear of being average, and why would anyone listen to what I've got to say? In fact, I haven't really got anything that interesting to say anyway. And I spent a lot of my, well, up until a couple of years ago, in all fairness, thinking that, you know, just stay above the line, you know, make sure you don't come above it. And then I did the same as you. I invested in my personal self-development, and as a result of that, I like you, I feel like I'm on fire. In fact, this is where my tagline came from. You know, I feel like I'm unstoppable. And not only that, I am doing what I love doing, which is helping other people like yourself to, you know, to become unstoppable too. And it doesn't get a much better feeling than that, does it? And definitely. The other thing I would say to what you were saying as well is it's not uncommon for you to feel like that at that age. Between, you know, 40, 50s, you're getting hit by so many hormonal changes that people don't always realise that they are impacted by the perimenopause. I mean, you mentioned about the hot flushes, but that's one of the many symptoms that there are, and people do gauge that, don't they, on whether they're oh, I didn't get any hot flushes, so therefore I'm not in the perimenopause. But there's all these other things like heightened anxiety, heightened stress, aches and pains, hair loss, brain fog, can't string a sentence together, lack of confidence, self-belief, self-sabotage. Plus, you know, again, that's just a tiny amount, isn't it? And I think that's the message we want to get across to women, is that, and men really, is that it's not just the hot flushes, is it? It's everything else that comes with it that we don't necessarily realise until we get to a point when we're like, I can't do this anymore.
Yeah. And it's having that awareness is right. Once you have the awareness and the insight, you can then do something about it.
Absolutely. Yeah. So I think the key message for both of us is what we've done, isn't it? Is once we needed help, we went out and got help. And you can't really do it on your own, can you? Especially like sometimes, you can put practices in place to help yourself. You know, you've got to have good self-care, that you get up in the morning and you look after yourself, because if you don't do that, then you can't help anyone else, can you? And I think you felt the same about that, haven't you? You have to put your self-care first.
Definitely. And Julie, for me, if I'm not okay, then how can I help my clients? How can I help my family? So I am very, very good about self-care. I suppose I'm the queen of it, really. But I find that that's important. I really do. I find that that's important. And I really do. I don't feel guilty about it. Now, there would have been a time in my younger days, of course I would have. Not now. I do take time for myself, and I do believe that makes me much, much better mum, and much, much better for my clients as well.
Amazing.
I'm able to give more.
And that's so important, because in life, there's so many elements of our lives that this can impact. So, you know, for me, it was, I mean, I've been through a divorce, you know, it's all that gorgeous stuff that comes with that, right? I've had blended families, empty nest syndrome. You know, when the kids have got older and they're not here anymore, and there's another adjustment in your life, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, deciding to build my own business. I've never done anything like that before in my life. I've worked in the corporate world for 35 years, you know, where it's very structured and you do what you're told. Whereas when you're building your own business, all of a sudden you're the only one and you're trying to be everything. You know, all of a sudden you're social media guru, aren't you? You're an accounts guru.
I hear you.
You're doing all the admin. You're doing all you have to be a sales expert. Who knew that?
Yeah.
You know, and social media, I don't know about you. Well, I didn't even know what Instagram was until, you know, sometime last year. And there we are. And I don't know how you feel about having to do all that kind of thing as well.
At the start, Julie, I thought, no, not doing it. Absolutely not doing it. And then I realised, how am I ever going to have a business if people don't know I'm there?
Exactly.
So, and I see my beautiful daughter there just joined me. She has been such a good help to me. She's 23 and she has been amazing. I mean, all my children have been so supportive. They are my biggest cheerleaders.
Yeah.
And whatever I have needed, they are, go mum, go mum. And they would help me with social media. But now, see, the interesting thing is at the start, I didn't know anything. I didn't even know how to turn Instagram on. And now I think nothing of going live. And come here, I'm going to mess it up. I absolutely am. And there's going to be technical issues and all that. But people understand that. They don't expect anybody to be perfect. And I think there's a vulnerability at putting yourself out there. There's a vulnerability for asking for help. Exactly. And we are exactly the same as everybody else. Whenever we don't know something and need something, we'll ask for it.
Yeah, and I think that's what I've learned a lot over the time. I used to just get on with it and not bother asking. And yeah, you might do an okay job, but that's all it is okay, isn't it? Because you always need that person that's already done it or going to that next level, don't you, of what it is that you want to be doing. You know, if you want to be successful, hang around successful people. Don't hang around people that are not going to believe in you and not want to listen to what you're doing and ridicule you and make fun of you. And as you said about your daughter and your family have been so supportive, mine too. I mean, my kids are all grown up as well, but my husband, oh my God, he's amazing. I'm away this weekend again doing some more training because I can't stop myself. I'm going to Thailand to do a retreat, to do some more business training. And I just can't stop myself doing stuff now, which is a little bit, you know, but I abandon him all the time. But do you know what? He never complains. I think he secretly quite likes it, but you know,
it works.
And it does work, and it's great to have that support, and that is important. But before we sort of run out of time, because we're going to end up losing time here, Sharon, I want you to really tell everybody about what you do. So just take a little step back to when you was doing that midwifery and everything else, and then you decided that you wanted to change. What made you need to change?
Well, I had no intention of leaving my NHS career. I had a very good wage. I loved what I did. However, I spent my whole time, so I'm a professional organiser and master certified KonMari consultant. So I have been trained by Marie Kondo. And
who is Marie Kondo?
Marie Kondo is a Japanese tidying expert. She's this small lady who I just love. I have a real girl crush on her. She's beautiful. So she wrote a book, The Life-Changing Magic of Tidying Up, and it was published whenever I needed it. So I had 3 children. I was working full time. I was trying to keep a tidy home, and I was struggling. I was really struggling. I just had too much stuff and I didn't know where to even start. And I spent my time spinning plates. I really did. So, and my whole time was spent tidying. And I knew life didn't have to be that difficult, but I just didn't know how to get out of it. So I came upon the book, I put it into action, and it transformed my home and my life. It transformed the life of my children, my family. It had a huge ripple effect. It really did.
And
so I knew this was magical.
How did it transform?
Okay, so really good question. Because my home was organised, I organised it now in a structured way. Before this, I would have spent time looking for things. Where's this? And I would have wasted such precious time looking for it. I'd have been frustrated. I'd have been irritated. I'd have worked hard to try and keep on top of the house but it never stayed. It was always superficial, and it never stayed any tidier than it was. And a couple of days later, it was as bad as ever. And I knew that life didn't have to be that difficult. So once I married my home, oh my goodness, the difference was fabulous.
Wow.
It really was. And so much so that I knew I had to share this. I believe that every person out there deserves a home that's organised, orderly, and easy to keep tidy, and one that brings them joy. And so I have set that as my mission statement, because that's what I intend to do. I intend to share this knowledge. Everybody deserves that in their life. They really do. And time's precious, so we don't have time to continually be tidying. No. So I went away to be trained with Mary, as I say, and I'm now one of her top consultants now, master level consultant.
Amazing.
Yeah. So I now go all across the world. I have travelled to America, over to the mainland. I'm in Northern Ireland. Over to the mainland, I have went to Isle of Man. I've brought a team with me, and we organise and transform clients' homes. And I also, during COVID, then I had to pivot, of course, and I also do it virtually. So I coach people one-to-one virtually, or through my online courses. It's whatever way I can get the information out best. So I worked all budgets, but everybody needs this in their life. I thought I was an expert tidier, but I was just doing it wrong. And now I have to say it's just beautiful.
Well, I have to say, Sharon, I attended one of Sharon's webinars recently, and it was particularly around offices, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was about the fact of just how you categorise things and how you should sort them. And I still have, I must confess, Sharon, I still haven't done my office. But what I have done, last weekend, my husband and I, we did our wardrobes upstairs, because that was planned, because it plays on your mind, doesn't it? And you're like, oh, it's such a mess. My office is still whiz, but there's only so much you can do, right? So we did, and I was ruthless, because I remembered what you said. I got it all out. Well, I didn't get it all out in one go. I did one wardrobe at a time and threw it on my bed, and I was sorting it into categories. Oh, that's a jumper, because that's what you were saying, wasn't it? So, and then you could go, well, I don't need 25 jumpers. And shoes, oh my God, I threw out probably about 10 pairs of shoes. I don't think some of them I've ever even worn. Yeah. And some of them were like this. I thought, I can't barely wear flats, never alone them. So I said, throw them. We took them to the charity.
And give them with gratitude. Yeah.
Yeah. And do you know what? I felt so good afterwards.
Yeah, you do.
So that's amazing. So basically, Sharon is truly amazing in what she does, and I've seen her in action. So what we'll do is when we get the live of this video sent out to you, we'll post all the different how you can get hold of Sharon. But do you want to just tell them what your website's called, or whatever they could easily remember?
Yes, so for me, I wanted to create joyful spaces. So my website is joyfulspaces.co.uk. And it's joyful with one L. So joyfulspaces.co.uk, and go on there and have a wee look. And there's something for everybody. There's absolutely something. And this doesn't need to be a barrier to you moving forward.
No.
There's definitely all that clutter in your home. There's definitely a way forward, and I can show you how.
I mean, the best thing for them is to jump on a call with you and book a call with you, isn't it? Just so you can see what their requirements are, and you can work out the best package for them.
Totally. And if I can't help them, I'll signpost them to somebody that can, without a shadow of a doubt. I have something for all budgets, and I have something for everybody. Yeah.
So that's amazing, and thank you so much for joining me today, Sharon. So Sharon and I have been talking about this a little bit lately, and it's amazing how living in that untidy world can really impact your mental health. So obviously, if you need help with any of that kind of thing, then contact Sharon. But obviously, I need to do a plug for myself, right? So my company is called Milliside Therapy and Coaching. I was hoping my banner was going to be in there, but it's not in here half of the time. But anyway, so I support women in the prime of their lives to basically become unstoppable. And I mainly do that by really deep diving into your mindset. So I'm a hypnotherapist, trained in rapid transformational therapist, which was created by a lovely lady called Marissa Peri, who I trained with live in London. But where this is different, we actually get to the root cause of your issues. So for example, if you're suffering from anxiety, the likelihood, the emotions, the physical impact that your body does. So if you go, oh, my heart pounds, my stomach twirls today, the likelihood is that's going back to when you were between the ages of 0 and 7, when you created some kind of belief that maybe you weren't good enough, or you weren't loved or rejected, etc. So it's about getting to that root cause, and if we can get to that in the session, then you're likely to tick off quite a few of your symptoms around that. And what I love doing is seeing the transformation of my clients in as little as one session. So you can do so much in one session. So what I am not is a counsellor, although I am a trained counsellor, but I don't do that anymore. But what I do, I don't see you for 1 week, 2 weeks, 6 weeks, a year. What I do is I see you, we might have to do 1 to 2 or 3 sessions, but one session can have transformation impact on your life. So in 1 month, you can really see the difference. So if that's something of interest to you, then DM me, or contact me and book a call, do whatever you need to do. But the moral of the story is, from both of us, is if you're stuck, ask for help and make that investment in yourself, whether it be your personal development, your business, whatever you want to do. But just make sure that you become unstoppable in the prime of your life. Sharon, you got anything to add before we leave?
I absolutely do. Julie, you are so humble. I have heard from somebody who you had done an RTT session with, who was singing your praises. Absolutely. And in fact, it was a business person. And in fact, you probably will know who it is. This person actually was stuck, and he was absolutely amazing. He had the most fabulous knowledge, but there was something just blocking him. Now, the excitement whenever he was explaining to me how your session had went, he was just jumping with joy. He actually said he was unstuck. He is now making quantum leaps, and he is flying. So I feel you are humble. You are definitely amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Thank you.
So well done.
And thank you so much for saying that. And as you said, that was a he you were talking about. So obviously I support my women in the prime of their lives, but I do have a lot of clients from all different ages, and male and female as well. So yeah. And Luke has just come to join us right at the end. So you're going to come say hi, Luke? No? Here he is.
You've company.
But listen, thank you so much, Sharon.
I see a lot of people that I would know, a lot of names that I would know, and thank you so much for everybody that joined us. We appreciate your time
today. Yeah. Thank you so much, everybody, for coming. Thank you, Sharon. Love you loads. Look forward to seeing you next week, and see you all soon. And that's bye for now.
Bye, everyone. Bye bye.